back to the next live episode of Season Sunflower Hour. I am so happy to have all of you joining with us, and not only joining us for a live stream, but on a very, very extra special one because this is the month of love, and it is one of my all-time favorite months of the year. So happy Valentine's Day to all of you that are watching, and thank you for joining us tonight. If you haven't done it already, make sure you head over to I think it's our homepage. I'm so not tech savvy, but make sure that you follow us, you like us, you click that heart, and you subscribe because you do not want to miss all of the exciting things we have coming up. This is going to be such a great year of episodes, and there are so many more amazing guests, and I don't want you guys to miss a single second of it. So make sure you follow and subscribe to our Twitch channel. And of course, all things social. You can find us everywhere at ALSA Chicago. So I will love to see and connect with all of you guys on all of our social media platforms. Now, I am not overstating this when I say that tonight's episode is going to be extra special because not only do we have some incredible guests, but we have some incredible love stories to share. And I cannot wait. Can I just say I even got dressed for the occasion? I put on my favorite love outfit so that we can celebrate all the hearts and the warm and fuzzy and all the exciting things that are going to be coming tonight. I'm so excited. So again, thank you for sharing. If you guys are new to the show, if you've never seen this before, welcome to the Sunflower Hour family. And I just want to remind you that we have some really cool features here. Yes, so welcome everyone. So if you are new, we have a really cool thing called the comment section. Seems very self-explanatory, but please feel free. You're already doing it before I even said it. I love this. Leave some comments, say hello, especially when the guests are on. If you guys have any questions or comments that you want to share with them or with us, we want to hear. Throw those comments up and we'll put them up on the show. And hey, if you are watching this from somewhere really special, let us know where. We always like seeing where our viewers are checking it out from. So chime in and let us know where you are watching the show from. We want you to be a part of this show because you are a part of the Sunflower Hour family now. So without further ado, let's get to some business. Let's dive on into all the good stuff because as always, you guys hear me say this all the time, the Greater Chicago chapter of the ALS Association always has some really amazing things going on, and I want to keep you all informed of all the great things they are doing. So again, you don't miss out on any of that fun stuff if you're interested, like the Walk to Defeat ALS. You're going to hear us talk about this in the show tonight because this is such a special event for us. And we do have the Chicago Walk on June 4th, and that's going to be here before we know it. And it's really exciting because the website's open now. So you guys can start a walk team. You can join someone else's walk team. The possibilities are really endless. And we're back in person this year, which is really, really exciting. Look at this. We have an amazing guest producer tonight, Kendra, and she is just so on top of things already. She's already got the link up in the comment section if you are interested. And so we are in person again this year, which is really great because we get to be there, feel the energy, feel the love in person. That is an option. But also, if you want to walk from another country, another state, and another town, if you don't feel comfortable yet coming in person, then you can still do the virtual mini walks yourself, which is really, really cool. So we have this hybrid option from wherever you are in the world, or you can be in person. So again, possibilities completely endless. So check out that link for you to join in. And again, if you want to start your own walk team, I think that's super awesome. You should do it. But if you don't, feel free to join a walk team. There are so many incredible ones. I don't know if we're going to be bringing back the one from the show, but we did have a team last year. So if anyone's interested, let me know. Maybe we can bring back our walk team and we can all do a virtual walk together. That's super, super exciting. Oh, and I'm going to mention this one more time before the show ends, but I want to give you guys a heads up now. We're going to do a really fun Twitch challenge. So if you're watching this, if you have not yet followed us, now is your chance because the first 10 people to follow us on Twitch are going to get a surprise in the mail. You're going to get a little present from the ALS Association. So you have to follow us though, and you have to take a screenshot on your device, either your computer, your iPad, your cell screenshot of that. And then if you go to my Instagram, my social media, and it is season_Marie_, we can throw that up on the screen for you in a second. Possibly, otherwise we'll put it in the comment section, but you can send me a direct message with your screenshot of you following our Twitch channel. And the very first 10 people to do that are going to get a prize. There it is. Yes. Follow me on Instagram at season_Marie_. So again, follow us on Twitch. Take a screenshot of you following us on Twitch. Send that to my Instagram, direct message me, and the first 10 people to do so will get a very special surprise. So you don't want to miss out on that opportunity because you never know what kind of magic can show up in the mail. Kendra sends some really good stuff. So first 10 people get on that now. Okay, this is so exciting. I just want to get to it right now. We're going to get to all the love. We're going to get to all the good stuff. And I'm going to bring our first guest in. And I have to say, though, before we bring him in, when Jim laid eyes on the neighbor across the street from him, he had absolutely no idea what the future was going to hold for the two of them. Now, granted, he was just a young boy when this was happening, but still, he never could have imagined what was to come. The neighbors ended up in grade school together and still having no idea what life had in store for them. Now, fast forward to their college years, and the two neighbors ended up falling in love together. Jim and Cathy, those two kids from grade school, had no idea of the overflowing of love, laughs, family, and traveling memories that they were going to create together. And together, they did exactly that. The couple was married for 48 years and welcomed a beautiful daughter named Nicole. Their love story was one of strength and courage, especially when their vows of sickness and health were tested. Cathy was diagnosed with ALS in March of 2020 and passed away just 5 short months later. Here to share their story of tragedy and triumph, please welcome Jim Braun. Hi, Jim.
Hello, Josie. How are you doing today?
Good. Welcome to the Sunflower family. We're so happy to have you.
Thank you.
And not only on just any episode are we excited to have you, but I'm really excited to have you on our Valentine's Day episode where we get to just really spread some extra love here. So in the theme of love and magic and Valentine's, tell me about your love story.
Well, you kind of started it out and you were right. We grew up together, across the street from each other. So I knew Cathy, her 3 brothers. She knew my 6 brothers, 1 sister. We played baseball, we played volleyball, we went on picnics, we went ice skating. We did all the stuff as kids. And then you're right. She was, like I said before, she was just the kid across the street, just somebody else you hang around with. And well, she was a girl, so who really liked girls? Not when you're in grade
Girls
school.
had cooties back then, right? Didn't they have cooties?
Yeah.
That was a thing.
Exactly right. Yeah. So you're right. It wasn't really until we went to college, and she went to Whitewater, I went to Marquette, and that's really been, I don't know, I saw her something a little bit different. It wasn't just that girl across the street anymore.
The sparks flew.
Yeah, they did.
And then I love it because then from that point on, she was your Valentine's every year. She was your special February 14th date.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. It was. Yeah.
We have a theme going tonight. If you can't tell, but don't worry. In case you forget, I will remind you about every 30 seconds because it's one of my all-time favorites.
Thank you.
Oh, I love it. Well, okay. So speaking, you started looking at Cathy a little bit differently. What was some of the first things that you fell in love with?
There was a couple things. She had big brown eyes. She had absolutely gorgeous long auburn hair, dimples, good sense of humor. She loved to laugh. Those are probably the first things that would attract anybody to that girl. Anybody.
Aw, it sounds like you were a pretty lucky man.
I think I was. And again, we had a lot of fun, and she loved to talk to anybody. She could talk to anybody. Um, like could and did talk to everybody. She would say she was shy. I don't think she was shy with anybody. If anything, I think it was the other way around. But she she really enjoyed people, um, but she was also very committed to family. Um, Reunions to her were a big deal, and want to make sure that if she was going to have a reunion, everybody would come to the house. Um, and she didn't care who was there. The more the people that stayed at the house, the happier she was.
Yeah, big family, right? We were talking about that on the phone. I mean, big
Yeah.
family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think there's 19 nieces and nephews. And then now there's grandnieces and grandnephews. And there's a lot more in there right now. There's
I love it.
50 plus 60 people. I don't know, something like that. Can't
That's
keep
a
track of them
whole
anymore.
lot. That's a whole lot of love. I like that. That's a whole
Yep,
lot of
it
family
is.
love right there. And that's a whole lot of
Yep.
cooking that she had to do. So bless her heart.
But she
Seriously.
loved to do it. But she really loved to do it.
Mhm. I like it. She sounds like a pretty awesome woman. Well, so the bummer in all of this, I love sharing these beautiful love story portions, but the truth of everything, we know how this disease ends. And Cathy was diagnosed with ALS in March of 2020. And
Right.
despite how courageously and strong she fought this battle, unfortunately, she passed away in August, about 5 short months later. So we know, you and I have experienced it. ALS takes so much from you, but the one thing that it was never able to take from Cathy was her sense of humor. So tell us about how she chose to spend sort of her life after diagnosis and how she attacked this sort of horrible thing that was coming for her.
You're right. Part of it was, I think we all know that it was probably a delayed diagnosis, because when you go back and look, she was having issues, but you know, denial happened, and it's like, that's not really what I have. And you talked about humor, and that's one of the visits that we had with the neurologist. She looked at him, and he was talking about ALS, and she said, "You're wrong." And he looked at her like, "What are you talking about?" She says, "Well, isn't that Lou Gehrig's disease?" And he says, "Yeah." Said, "Well, he's a baseball player, right?" "Yeah." "Well, I never played baseball, so how could I have Lou Gehrig's disease?" And I think for a minute he kind of looked at her like, "Are you okay? Are you crazy?" And then she started laughing, and it's like, "Oh, I get it." Um, so that was one way that she dealt with it. And she dealt, again, she found humor in a lot of things. And again, you talk about some of the issues that we went through. One of them was, she had a lumbar puncture, and terrified of it. But the physician's assistant was there, and it was a man. He was probably mid-20s, and procedures done. Walk in, and I asked her how everything was, and she says, this guy had absolutely gorgeous blue eyes. It was like,
Oh.
okay. It's like, well, what about me? He was really good looking, and he had really good, looking eyes.
A little bit of eye candy in those moments is never a bad thing.
That's what I told her.
You've got to appreciate when people have some really beautiful I love going to the dentist when the dental hygienist has these beautiful blue eyes too, because you know what? I mean, you just
You get
want to
lost
look
in
at
them.
something's pretty. Yeah. And it distracts you from the things that are happening.
Exactly. Yep.
You know what? I'm always impressed by the more people that I talk to that have, I mean, I saw it firsthand with the friend that passed away of ALS. And then the more people I get to talk to and encounter that have loved ones with ALS or individuals battling ALS themselves, it's the one common theme that I'm so impressed by is the way that they handle this. like you were saying, Kathy's, the humor that she still kept, knowing what the end result was going to be, the way she still attacked life, it is so admirable. And I don't know, I can't even imagine where I would be at in that situation. So, I mean, hats off to her for just being so strong and handling it with just so much grace.
Yeah, and obviously she got frustrated too, especially when she lost her voice, and as you know, as any woman knows, they love to talk, and you lose your voice, and it's like, then you get frustrated. And that's when she really got probably the most frustration. But somehow she was able to still communicate with us.
Oh. Well, I mean, and it does, and you bring up a good point too, the communication, but ALS doesn't just affect the individual that is battling this disease. I mean, it's felt by everyone, the family, everyone that's close and loves you plays a part in this journey. So what was the toughest part for you with Cathy's diagnosis?
There were a couple of things, and probably the biggest issue was our daughter living in New Zealand and not being able to see her, and Nicole not being able to come home during all of this. By far, again, you talk about the need for family and companionship, and you don't get it. You can't have that. With Nicole being a day and a half away, that was tough. But still, talking to her isn't the same thing as having her home. So that was a big impact. And again, all of it was because of COVID. And I think that was the other issue too, is she ended up in the hospital a couple of times, right during the middle of COVID. Goes in the hospital. I walk in, can I see my wife? No. And it's like, again, you don't think of it. That's not what you're focused on. You're focused on, hey, I want to see my wife. And they come back and say, no, can't do it. Yeah. And it was, again, frustrating for her, frustrating for me. But it was also the facts. And then finally, her attending physician called me up after a week and said, I think we can get you in to see her. You want to come in? It's like, yes. When? Now? Can I get in there right now? Come on. So, I mean, the good thing was we did get in to see her. So that was a good thing. And again, I think the last piece was really asking for help. We had, again, we grew up together. We were going to go through this ourselves, and just really didn't ask for help. And that's tough. Certainly tough on her, tough on me. But again, it's just one of those things, I guess.
Yeah. It's just the way it was going to play out. And it's just crazy to think that not only did you have all the struggles that come with an ALS diagnosis anyway, but like you said, you had on top of that the added pressure of a pandemic, a global pandemic where the world was shut down, and she's even more susceptible to germs. So you have to be even more careful, and extra procedures. And it just makes that sense of community, sometimes the ability to just be around somebody, thanks to this beautiful pandemic, it made that a little bit harder. It made it so much harder.
Sure did. Yeah.
But you did have, I mean, thankfully you had a great support system. You did have people around you, and you also had the ALS Association. So what did they mean to you and Cathy through all of this?
Yeah, I think the biggest piece really was the support, plain and simple. It was the unquestionable support. And my first contact with the ALS group in Chicago was with Peggy O'Connor. And I know she's a caregiver, care coordinator, but really, I looked at her and said, you know what, you're more of an angel than anything else, because she told me, you know, I could call her anytime. And I took that at face value and I called her at any time. I really did. And one of them, and again, I wasn't really looking at days, times, anything. I called her up, and it was a Saturday afternoon. And right after I called her, it's like, "Where are you?" And she said, "I'm at home. I'm vacuuming." And it's like, "Oh, it's Saturday. I really didn't mean to call you." And she's, "Nope, whatever you need." So again, it was just that support that I got from you guys. One of the other pieces was I made kind of an offhanded comment to Peggy about needing help, or what kind of equipment can I get to get up the stairs for Kath, because everything was downstairs on the first floor, and bathrooms were all upstairs. And I drawn out some suggestions. She said, "No, don't spend the money." And at the time, I guess I didn't realize everything that's going on. And she says, "Think about a stair climber." It's like, okay. And she gave me the name of the vendor, called him up, and he said, "Well, I'll come out, 2 days from now." And it's like, okay. He brings the equipment out, trains me on it. And it's like, okay, so when can I get something like this? And he says, "I'm not leaving with it. It's yours." It's like, okay, so how much do I owe you for it? How much do I pay for it? Nothing. It's like, okay. Because Peggy had said, "No, there's nothing in the lending closet." And in the end, he says, "No." He says, "It's yours. ALS is taking care of everything." So again, it's just, you talk about support, and it's that kind of stuff where you just kind of mention something, and it shows up. And again, I mentioned Peggy because she was amazing. Even when we made the decision to go to hospice, Peggy was very honest, and I called her up and I said, "Hey, here's what we're going to do," and she didn't sugarcoat anything. Not what I wanted to hear, because she said, "Okay, here's what's going to happen over the next week," and she was absolutely right. But she made sure that I knew what was going to happen. So it was really that. The other thing too was Peggy knew that my sister-in-law was going to come down and help me, and she knew that Mary was also a nurse, and she said, "Give me Mary's phone number. I'll call her up." And they talked for about 45 minutes. So that by the time Mary got down here, she knew Peggy, Peggy knew her, and they could talk anytime they wanted to. And they did. So again, long story short, it was really the support that I got from you guys all the way through the process. Short that it was still pretty amazing support. And
well, you were
I was going to say, and I still owe Peggy a giant hug for the support that she provided. She's going to get it one of these days.
I have a feeling she's going to get it sooner than we think, with this in-person walk happening again this year. But speaking of that, as you dubbed her your angel Peggy had chimed in. I don't know if you saw that, saying that you are so amazing, Jim. Yeah, and then Gemma jumped in to let you know what a sweet love story you have, and to thank you for honoring her memory and sharing the story with everybody. So I have a feeling that their love is just as deep for you as you have for all of them. And it's nice hearing that, because I want people to really understand what the ALS Association does and the value, because this is why we're doing this. This is why we're doing the show. This is why we're asking for donations. This is where the money goes to, because as you said, it's to provide the services, to be there whenever you need it, to have great care service coordinators like Peggy, our amazing staff that get to walk you through the process from beginning to end, let you know what you're in for, get you all the things that you need free of charge, so that you don't have to spend a dime, that your time and your energy can really go to spending the time and making memories with your loved one before it's too late. Like, this is why we're doing this. So I
Yep.
love getting to hear people talk about sort of what it meant for them, and that it, despite this disease that makes everything seem a million times harder, that there are just small little things that the ALS Association can do that makes it just a little bit easier. We're
Mhm.
happy to do that when we can. Well, and so speaking of why we do this, why it's so important to raise awareness and where these funds go to and all of that good stuff, you have been busy doing the same thing. You've been out there raising awareness because ALS, as everyone knows, has completely changed your life in such a huge way. And you have been on this mission to make sure that it doesn't do this to someone else. It doesn't take any more loved ones from other people. So tell us about your quest for ALS awareness.
Well, again, you talked a little bit about awareness, and the awareness. I'll be honest with you, I was really ignorant about ALS, and I think that's fair to say of a lot of people until you really are exposed to it. And again, there was a letter that Peggy provided right up front, and it was a 3-page document that just kind of said, here's what ALS is, and here's what you should expect. Here's what your family should expect. I took that and I sent it out to all of my entire family. And I think the general comment was, we didn't really know anything about it. And this provided a good piece of information for us and understanding more about ALS. So again, just starting to get the awareness out. The other thing I did this past spring was I took a trip, and a big part of it was for myself too. But I went down, ended up in Georgia, Florida, South Carolina, Virginia, Washington, D.C., Pennsylvania, meeting family and or friends. And again, in a lot of cases, catching up, but also talking about ALS, and never wavering from the whole thing of, hey, the support that you guys provided was amazing. And I tried to make a distinction between the support that I was getting from the Chicago group versus I'll say the National Ice Bucket Challenge, which I perceived more as, hey, you know what, let's find a cure for ALS versus the local group, which is really going to provide the support to the families. And I was kind of drawing that comparison, hey, what I'm doing is raising the awareness for the local groups. That's where the help comes. That's where I got my support from. It was from the Chicago group.
I love it. All part of a live show, guys. I don't know if I'm frozen or if Jim's frozen, but I think there's a little freeze. But if you can still hear me in the meantime, we've had some great comments popping up on the screen. Donna Clax is jumping in with amazing stories, hugs to Jim and his family. So Jim, if you can still hear me, you are getting some virtual hugs from so many people right now.
Yep.
Are you still there?
Yes.
Beautiful.
I am.
Beautiful, beautiful. Beautiful. Well, I love that. So you got to just hit all these states. You got to spread the word, spread some awareness, which is so important because we need to have awareness first and foremost to be able to fight this disease. You can't fight something that no one knows about. So just spreading the word is so important. And you did that on such a big level. And speaking of another of the ways that you spread the word, Peggy chimed right in to let us know that you better find her at that walk so that she can collect on that hug you owe her. And speaking of walks, we have someone super special that I want to bring in to talk with you and to talk with us about the walks. Here's Kendra.
Hi.
Hi, Kendra.
Hi.
Oh, I love this. So Goofy Grape, Jim, that's your team. Tell me about where I'm sure Kendra probably knows the story already because she's so awesome, but tell me where this name came from.
Well, Goofy Grape kind of described Cath in a nutshell in 2 words. She was goofy, plain and simple. She enjoyed life to its fullest. She stuck her tongue out at people on a regular basis. She'd make faces. So that's kind of where the goofy part came from. And then the grape part came from, she loved wine. Grapes, wine, goofy grape, kind of puts it all together. So it really described Cathy in a nutshell. She's goofy and she liked wine, goofy grape.
I love it. So what better name for a walk team then to be her nickname, her probably favorite nickname for you. So you guys did this. So you started the walk. You have an amazing team. What has it been like to be a participant in the Walk to Defeat ALS?
You know, it's interesting because it wasn't just the Chicago walk that I participated in. I also went to Milwaukee and did the walk up there, and also went out to Salt Lake City and did a walk. Cathy's family's from Milwaukee. My family is too. But I got my brother out in Salt Lake City. So it was really the three of them. And it really was, we talked a lot about it. Raise awareness, raise money to support the local community. And my goal, Kendra, I know everybody sets a goal out there. And my goal, again, comes back to raising enough money for one of those stair climbers. And in the end, we raised almost enough money to fund two of the stair climbers. So again, you kind of look at what are you trying to do? You're trying to give back to the community.
Yeah.
Give back to the community that supports you. Now, yeah, I split it between three different communities. That's okay. Because they all need the help.
Yeah. We all have as Kendra would probably say, right, Kendra, we all have the same goal. So whatever chapter, whatever, at the end of the day, the goal is still the same, and it's to help the individuals with ALS, their families, provide service, and find a cure. We're all on the same page there.
Yes,
Yep.
absolutely.
And I love this. Your daughter is chiming in all the way from New Zealand. She is so proud of you. She is watching you. Look at that. I love it.
Yep.
Oh,
Well, and for
Nicole
me,
and
it
Pete.
was so fun because, we had our mini walks the first year, but then, Jim and Team Goofy Grape didn't come on until obviously last year. And so then when he's like, can we have one in New Zealand with my daughter? I was like, oh my gosh, like we're going international. Like, yes, this is amazing. And it was really fun because he would send pictures as like he was in the different locations. And it was just so cool to take this idea and really make it his own and what fit his team, and just bringing in so many different people. It was just like the perfect way. And when we dreamed up this mini walk of how they would look, he's the prime example. And Jim, I don't think you realize like how much joy you brought to us as the walk staff, because when we would see your pictures, it was almost like we were there with you, and we were just so excited for what you were doing and the adventures you were going on. And it was just, we were proud of you for going and doing it. And it was just such a joy to watch you and kind of be a part of it, even if we were still in Chicago and you were on your adventures. But it was really great. So I really appreciate you doing that. And then of course, sharing it with us, because you brought a lot of joy to us.
Good.
Yes.
Yeah. The other piece, just real quick. I talked about the Ice Bucket Challenge because we did mini walks. I said, let's do a mini Ice Bucket Challenge. And I kind of said, here's a cup of ice. Just pour the cup of ice over your head after the walk, because it was so hot in Chicago that day. So it was like, okay, let's do a mini Ice Bucket Challenge along with a mini walk. So tie the two of them together.
Perfect.
I love it. I love that brain power working. And since your beautiful daughter, Nicole, is watching from New Zealand, Nicole, I'm calling you out. Are you going to be doing another virtual walk in New Zealand? Are you going to maybe jump in on this? Oh.
Well, I know I've talked to her, and
I love it. She's already on it. She's already done the mini Ice Bucket Challenge.
Yep. So yeah, she's gonna do exactly the same thing. I hope she's more than just Nicole and Peter this year. Maybe she can get more people involved in New Zealand. That's
I
your
love
challenge,
that.
Nicole.
Ooh, Dad's throwing out some challenges.
Challenge.
I like this. I'm jumping on that. That is your challenge. Nicole, let's see how many people you can get to walk with you and Pete. And actually, so you are in New Zealand. Let's keep this international. I will be walking from Bali, Indonesia. So we're going to get multiple countries. Let's see how many countries we can get involved in this. Exactly. Big team for Goofy Grape. Let's see how many people we can get to join this. And if you're watching right now, and if you don't have a team and you want to jump in on this, you can join Team Goofy Grape. Hit that link in the comment section that Kendra previously posted. I think she's probably going to post it again because she's that awesome. But you guys can join Team Goofy Grape if you want to. You can walk right there. You can join their team. You can walk with them in support of Cathy and in support of the mission of raising awareness and putting an end to this horrible disease. Before we lose you, Jim, Kendra,
Yep.
we haven't seen enough from you. I think I'm going to bring you back on later because I just love that smiling face of yours. But I'm glad you got to chime in, and I love that. Thanks for joining us and to chat about the walk a little bit. So, well, Kendra, I'll see you soon. Jim, I want to keep you on for one more second, but
Okay.
because this is the month of love and this is Valentine's Day, you have a special story about a special letter. I want you to tell us about that.
Okay. This is probably the tough part. I found this note after Cathy had passed away, and I didn't know if Nicole had written it because the two of them have very similar handwritings. But it really kind of says everything. I think it sums up what we've been talking about today. Basically, it said, every day I think of you, every night I dream of you. Only proves it must be true. I'm in love with you.
Yeah.
And it was right. It's still true.
Absolutely. That one gets me a little bit. I'm not going to lie. That one gets me a little misty. So if you could spread one message to our viewers watching this for Valentine's Day, what would it be?
You know, that's really it. I don't think I would change anything, and it truly is, you know, that same message, and the support. You know, again, the support we got from you guys was amazing, and it truly helped us get through all of this.
That and just love. I think that is so special that no matter what was going on, Cathy was still finding ways to make you smile and still making sure that you were remembering her and knew how much she loved you even after ALS took her away. So
Yep.
I love that you have that note. That thank you for sharing it, because I know that's super special and that's something that's really private, but I think it's such a beautiful message to just remind all of us to just love on the people we love more.
Yep. Absolutely agree.
Well, Jim, thank you so much. Thank you for everything you do for ALS awareness. Thank you and Nicole for doing some beautiful walks. We're going to see you again this year at the walk with Team Goofy Grape, and it looks like you've got some hugs to be handed out.
That's
We're
right.
so happy to have you as part of our family. Thank you so much, and I hope I get to meet you in person and give you a real hug someday soon.
Okay, great. I look forward to it. All right.
Have a great night. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Ooh, you guys, that note, it just, that one just gets me a little bit, but I think it couldn't have been on a more perfect episode than this Valentine's Day one, to just remember how powerful and how important love is. So I meant it when I said it. I hope all of you watching, I would love to give you that challenge, that just the people in your life that you love, hug them a little bit tighter, say I love you as much as possible, and just remember to show that love, because life gets a little crazy sometimes. We never know what's going to happen next. So let's take all those opportunities to just share some love and some kindness with each other. So on that note, I do want to bring back, we have something really special to celebrate here, because speaking of love, spreading love to the people that we love, I'm going to tell someone I love right now. Kendra, You come back, you gorgeous girl. I love you. And I am so happy that, first of all, that I even got to meet you, that you're part of this amazing organization, because everything you do is so incredible. We got to unmute you, first of all. You're still muted.
First day
But,
over here. First day.
No, you're doing a great job. You're doing such a great job. Seriously, though, I mean it from the heart. I absolutely love you. I'm so happy to be a part of any family that you are involved in, especially this one. But when it comes to some walk stuff, I want to pick your brain. But also, we have something really special to celebrate, because today is your 7th year anniversary with this chapter. Like you said, what was supposed to be a couple weeks.
Yep.
Here we are 7 years later.
Crazy.
You just can't get enough of them.
I know. Once you get in, you just can't stop. I mean, it's just, you meet the folks, and I literally love what I do and this organization. And so there's no reason to leave or to go anywhere. I mean, this is where my heart is. And so as long as y'all keep having me, I'm here.
Good, because I don't want to burst your bubble, but I'm pretty sure if you tried to leave, we wouldn't let it happen. I don't think you're allowed to leave. So you're stuck. You're stuck.
Okay. I'll be happily stuck.
Good. No, it's true though. I see it in everything that you do. I love seeing your excitement and your passion for this. When you say your heart's in this, I mean, it's so apparent to see that your heart really is in this. It's something really beautiful to watch. So we're really, really extra lucky to have you. So speaking of, can you give us a highlight of your, my camera's just so excited for you too. It's just falling right over. Can you give us maybe a highlight from your past 7 years with this child? Impossible, I know, to give us one, but.
Honestly, I really think it's meeting the individuals we serve and their families. You know, take apart the events, take apart the fundraising and all that, which is where, you know, my job is mainly focused, and actually getting to meet these people, meet their families, be accepted into them like their own. It's just, there's no feeling like it. And I've been with other nonprofit organizations, and, you know, I feel like as development, you're kind of kept at an arm's length, like, oh my gosh, but here they really do welcome you into their family. And so it's just, it's crazy. And when I first started, I remember thinking, you know, okay, so the average lifespan is 2 to 5 years. And then when those people started passing away that would have been diagnosed when I first started, I was like, we can't have this. Like, we've got to do something, you know, like it just even more re-energized you. Like, this is not okay. And every, 90 minutes, it's like, no. And so it really is meeting the individuals that are living with ALS, because I have never met a more selfless group in my entire life. Our individuals we serve are so giving. They have the biggest hearts. And, even I run the Feast for Families program. Anyway, they come to me, and I don't know how many times people say, I want my entry to go to so-and-so because they need it more. And it's like, you're living with ALS. And, there's a gentleman who doesn't have much. He lives by himself in an apartment. And so we sent him the Feast for Families gift card. He called me to tell me that his neighbor is a single mom with a child and needed a new vacuum. So he bought her a vacuum with his gift card.
Oh,
and I was just like, but you needed this too. But that's just how they are. Like, it is literally the most amazing group of people. And it's just, I can't not help. I can't not be all in. Yeah. So
I think everyone I've ever met, you can't be touched in some way by ALS and not feel the pull to get involved and make a difference.
Mm-hmm.
You just can't.
No, and we have it's
the best group of people to ever interact with.
And we have such a great staff. I mean, our care services team is the best of the best. Like, I would put them up against anybody. And so the fact that I know how well they're taking care of our folks makes my job so much easier too. Because, like Jim said, Peggy just, he mentioned the stair climber, Peggy made it happen. And it's just such a great organization, and our folks are amazing. So here I am.
I love it. And you haven't, so here, 7 years later, here you are. And we're going to be celebrating this on your 10th, on your 20th. We're going to be celebrating this for a long time to come. There's a lot.
Well, I want to come to Bali for my 10th then.
Deal.
Or maybe
Deal.
your 8th.
I'm already. How about your 7th in 3 days?
Perfect.
I think this is a great way to celebrate now. Speaking of celebrations, you have something to announce too, right?
Yes. So our theme for 2022, our walks, we're changing them up, is going to be Sunflower Field of Dreams. So this is our logo with the sunflower, the baseball. This will be what we identify with this year. And we're really excited to see how our teams incorporate it, whether they do the sunflower, whether they do baseball, do they merge them? Do they do Lou Gehrig? I mean, there's really just so many options. Yeah. And so, as I've posted a few times, the Chicago walk site is live now, but if you're a fall walk, those sites will go live on Thursday. So this is the first time we're announcing that. So on Thursday, the fall walk websites will go live. And so folks can start getting registered then. So we're excited.
I love that. I love getting exclusives, Sunflower Hour exclusives from the ALS Association. You heard it here for the first time, folks.
Yes. It's going to be great.
So excited. Well, I don't know if you saw this, Kendra, but Peggy chimed in saying, happy chapterversary. She is so happy to know you and work with you. I second that, great. Peggy.
Oh, and so is
Ditto.
Gemma's.
Ditto. Yeah. Well, Kendra, as always, I love talking to you, and you and I could just go on forever and ever. So you're going to have to come back for some more episodes.
I'll back out and let someone else come.
No. It's just, I'm talking too much. I'm looking at the time like, oh my goodness, like our poor next guests, I was supposed to have them on a while ago, but I'm excited to share their story too. So Kendra, you and I will catch up again soon. Thank you for being an amazing producer tonight, and happy 7-year anniversary.
Thank you so much.
You guys, that is the nature of live shows. You know how much I love talking, and there's just so many great things to talk about. So I don't want to waste any more time before we get to our next guests, because they are 2 more. As Kendra said, the people that she has met, interacted with, and a part of this chapter happen to be the most incredible and most selfless people she's ever met. And I will second that about our next 2 guests. They are absolutely incredible, and they have a beautiful love story all on their own. So what can a 30-year aviations expert and a graphic artist have in common? Well, music and games, of course. I hope you all guessed that. Valerie is a renowned international DJ, and she had no idea that Facebook games would lead her to her Prince Charming, aka her lobster. 10 years ago, Valerie and Pat first met, and their fairy tale began. However, where their fairy tale love has been filled with so many amazing highs, it has been torpedoed with some very massive lows. One of those being ALS. The unimaginable happened when Pat was diagnosed with ALS. While the news changed his life in more ways than one, it gave both him and Valerie a chance to reevaluate what's really important in life and make some massive changes. Here to share their love story and journey with ALS, please welcome Valerie and Pat Harmon. Hello.
Hi,
guys.
Hi.
Oh, I'm so sorry it took me so long to get to you. Thank you for sticking it out with us. I am so happy to get to see your guys' faces. Seriously.
Thanks. It's good to see you.
Well, I feel like this is so fun. I know we've only talked on the phone a couple times now, but I already feel like we're old friends at this point. I just love you two so much, and you guys embody so many of the things that Kendra was saying about just such amazing, selfless, strong people. So I want to dive in because I want people to get to know what I saw in you about 2 seconds into our conversation. It was so beautiful. So let's talk love. Tell me your love story, because you have a pretty beautiful one.
Yeah, Val was a DJ, and I used to DJ, but we were both, I was working midnights, and one of the things I would do to kind of preoccupy my time is, and stay awake, is play some of the games on Facebook, and one of them was Happy Aquarium, and it was a site where you go to get other people that you would friend to play the game with you. And one of the people that was added to my list was her, and they always said DJ Val, and I was always curious that was her Facebook name. I'm thinking, is she a DJ? So I clicked on her site, and I saw that she did a roll call every night at 1 o'clock in the morning for people in the music industry, and I used to read it, and they had some interesting topics about a lot of the dance music and some of the old dance music. And somebody had asked a question in there about an old '80s dance song, and I knew the answer to it, but I didn't respond. But I after a while, people were responding with the wrong answer, and finally I jumped in and responded. I said, "Well, it was this song." And that's kind of how I introduced myself to Val, and we had just started, communicating now and then, not personally, but just about music stuff. And this roll call group went on for quite a while, and the people in the roll call we sort of all became friends online, but nobody had ever met in person. So one night I just took it upon myself to go around in my car. I picked as many of these people up as I could. I said, let's all go surprise Val at her nightclub she was working in, and actually we could all meet. So we did that, and when I laid eyes on her the first time, that was it. I knew it was going to be me and her.
I knew the same. And what a cast of characters he brought around. What a great group, though. We talked for years. And I thought, this guy, oh my God, we could do a TV series. Seriously, it's in the works. It could be. You never know. But I thought, what a thoughtful guy to go around and pick up all these people who talked on a daily basis but never met. And to bring them all together. And as soon as I locked eyes with him, like you said, it was game over. I knew immediately. I didn't think I'd ever be with anybody. I was single for, 14 years. And game over. It was awesome. This guy. That's how
I love life's the universe plays tricks on you. Like, haha, you think you're all good. You think you're alone. Just kidding. You were just getting set up to meet your lobster and for him to walk in that one night, and it was just all over.
Neither one of us were looking. Just when you least expect it, I guess.
Yep. See, this is what I love so much, though, about these love stories. This is why I love, because I've met a lot of people that say, no, I don't believe in love at first sight. And then you hear a story like that where you both just knew it was it. Like you said, just locked eyes, and that was it. It was over for you. Found your person.
That's it.
Yeah, it's it. It's a real thing.
I think mine was touch. It's like I felt like I really feel like I picked up her aura and her vibe. She was in the DJ booth, and I went in there and I stuck my hand in there and I grabbed her hand, and just knew it. I knew I wasn't gonna let go.
Okay, I love that, and I love that you felt it, like Valerie, you felt it too. It was just undeniable. You guys were both. It was over. Like you said, game over. And all from some Facebook games, by the way, because that's a new one. I've never heard a couple meeting from Facebook games.
Yeah, it was so silly. I mean, there was a guy I worked with that had the Happy Aquarium. I used to make fun of him, and then I'm like, well, I want to see what it's about. So I went on and got my own. I saw hers, and it was always really artistic. And then I saw DJ Val. I'm like, wow, I wonder if she's actually a DJ. And I clicked on it, and I saw her profile. And, and then I wandered into the roll call, that's all. You could do a whole show about that roll call group. What a diverse group of people. I mean, you can't get any more diverse, but they're all wonderful, heart people that are just great, wonderful, loving people, and we all got along, and it was like a little family.
Well, I love getting to see all this love that you guys are getting. I don't know if you're seeing that flash up on the screen, but people are chiming in. What a beautiful couple, and what a great way to meet. Beautiful couple. You guys are so full of love. So many people are just loving on you guys already as a couple, as I knew they would. So I'm telling you, I fell in love with your guys' story and you guys as a couple instantly. So I love that other people are picking up on that too. And by the way, if anyone's listening, all the single folk out there, maybe this is the way to meet your person. Maybe forget about these dating apps and Tinder. Maybe you head to Facebook and play some games, and then you meet people that are interested in the same games. Maybe you've unlocked something new, you guys.
No, don't look. Just go find something that you love doing, and you're going to bump into somebody.
I love that. I love that advice. And speaking of, Kendra was also letting us know that, hey, she's up for playing Happy Aquarium. If anyone wants to play that with her, check out Happy Aquarium. Maybe she can join your guys' group. Do you still have that going? Is that group still active with each other?
I have roll call every night at 1 o'clock, around 1 o'clock in the morning, every night on Facebook. You can find me at Valerie Harmon on Facebook. I do it every night. I've been doing it for years.
Awesome. Oh my gosh, awesome. Okay, so then I don't have to feel so bad that I'm keeping you late right now because you're a rock star and you're going to be going until 2 in the morning.
Probably, yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I love this. Well, let's get, this is sadly, again, we're talking about some heavy stuff here. So you were diagnosed with ALS. It's been recent. You've been fighting this battle. How are you doing? How is everything going for you?
It rearranges your life. It's like you're playing Monopoly or chess, and somebody comes along and just knocks everything over off the board. You just, when you get that diagnosis, if you took a list of like the 50 most important things in your life, write them all down, and then you get that ALS diagnosis, number 3 through 50 don't mean anything instantly. Just rip that bottom part of the list off. And, we sold everything we had. We moved somewhere that's more healing and quiet, peaceful. I can't tell you how it clarifies what's really important to life. I mean, if you go to that list of 50 things that are important to you, what items on that list are going to be around after you pass away? And the only thing left is love. That's it. That's all that matters.
I love my lobster.
And you have it. You have it. You guys absolutely have it. What were some of those things on your list that became irrelevant to you now that you can just kick out and you don't even think twice about anymore?
I thought my career was everything. Career and your plans, what you think are plans, name it. I mean, now it's just me and her and our immediate family and walking in nature and spending time in nature. That's about it. I mean, and then, still any chance that we can communicate or talk with other people and help other people. I got a friend of mine from high school that just found out last week he's got ALS. So I'm working with him through, he's where I was, mentally, several months ago. The other people that are affected by this, it's crazy, but you become part of a group that's connected, where you instantly care about each other. It's almost, I don't even know what to compare it to.
There's no comparison to anything. There's none.
In cancer, you still got hope.
Right.
There's not a lot of hope with ALS. I mean, there's a list of reversals, but there's 55 people on that list out of the last 3 decades. So there's not a lot of hope. It just tells you, what, your time is limited. And so it just filters all the unimportant things out.
It's true. I love just even the sentence that you said, and it's up in the comments already, that all that's left is love. I mean, really, all the other stuff, like you said, it doesn't matter. This is the important part right there. And you guys have that, and you guys get to spend every single day and every moment making these amazing, happy memories. And just, I hate ALS. I hate ALS so much.
I hate more.
Yeah. And Valerie, I mean, you heard us talking with Jim earlier, because it's so true. ALS is more than just the individual battling its journey to take. You're in this journey too. I mean, this is your husband. This is your lobster. How has this ALS diagnosis changed your life as well?
Well, I mean, I lose my husband every day, little bits at a time. And you don't want to see someone you love suffer and go through this. I wish more people would spend their money on research so we could end this. Nobody deserves this. Nobody.
I know. That was when we had talked on the phone, you said that, and I remember writing it down because that one just hit me. It was like a punch to the gut and sliced my heart open, because I could hear that, even just saying it, I'm getting all watery. I could hear the pain in your voice when you were saying you're literally losing your husband a centimeter at a time every single day. And you're right, nobody should have to go through that. This is why this is so important, what we're doing, and having you guys talk about this and show people what it's like, what you're going through. And Patrick, I mean, what's your daily life like now with ALS?
You know, you can't stop researching. No matter how much I want to put the cell phone down, I'm constantly digging and looking into diet and different studies that people have done, and following, you know, various people that have had different successes. It's like you are, you know, I want to say, when you hear people say they're fighting for their life, all you can do is search, because there's nothing there to grab to fix this right now. So you're just constantly, you know, putting the what if in your head. I mean, you can sit there and try to guess what causes this, but you'll waste all your time. But I'd still do a lot of research, thinking, and you know, who knows? Who knows what this could be? It could be something crazy. You know, you could drink 16 ounces of green Kool-Aid every day and it might cure it. Who knows? I mean,
Who knows? Yeah.
it could be something crazy like that. But we're always digging. And the rest of my day is spent communicating and telling people that have touched my life. You know, different friends and relatives and, you know, co-workers, people I've worked with, people I went to school with. I think back into my childhood and I try to reach out to these people and say, you know what, you made a difference in my life. There's a lot of people. You don't realize.
Anyone
We
you want to give a shout out to now?
We affect
anybody
everybody's life.
Mm-hmm.
Oh gosh, there's so many people that God's put in my life that have affected me, countless. It's crazy. I mean, we all affect each other somehow, just to different degrees.
It's such a beautiful reminder of exactly that, that sometimes it's real easy to sort of get selfish and get wrapped up in your own wants and needs and just going about your daily life. And that's a beautiful reminder that, yeah, everything we do in one way or another affects someone else. So let's choose the way we live our life.
Yeah. Elle and I used to DJ fundraisers for the Ice Bucket Challenge. We've done many of them, and I never dreamed that one of us would get hit with this diagnosis. And, you know, we never learned about it, but I wish we did. I wish more people actually knew about this disease and what it does. It's I don't know. I wish people understood it more, because I think everybody would help each other more. We have more compassion, even people with cancer. And I mean, it makes me sick to see people younger than me diagnosed with this, people in their 20s, 30s, with kids, you know, young kids. Something's got to be done. We have to come together as a country and pool our resources and come and find a cure.
Amen to that. I second that 1,000%.
If a cure is found for ALS, it's going to affect Alzheimer's, dementia, MS. I think if Parkinson's, if they find a cure for this, they're going to find it. It's going to help a lot of other things. It's not. I don't think it's just ALS is what this battle is not. It's not one little disease. I think that if they find a cure for ALS, it's going to cure a lot of things.
Well, I can promise you that we are not going to stop fighting until we get there. Absolutely. I know the ALS Association's not. I know there's some other great organizations. Like, we are not going to stop. This has been our mission. And I remember one of the most beautiful things I heard from the court, like ALS Association in general, is they said, we want to be put out of business. We want our services to be insignificant. We want it to be a cure so that we can shut down the ALS Association, because there won't be a need for us anymore. And I mean, that's the ultimate goal. We're not going to stop fighting. And like you were saying, we need to make people aware of ALS, because it seems very small, but every 90 minutes, someone is diagnosed with ALS, and every 90 minutes, someone loses that battle. And everyone watching, I want you to let that sink in for a moment, because I mean, in the time we're doing the show, that means one new individual is going to be getting this news that you got, Pat and Valerie, that they're diagnosed with ALS and they're about to embark on this journey. And one individual that has been battling this disease will have lost that. And this is just, we just can't have this. This is completely unacceptable. So, I mean, Sunflower Hour, we're going to keep, I can give you that promise. We are going to keep spreading the word and shouting it from the rooftops to anyone that will listen what is going on, and share your story, share Cathy's story, share my friend Frank's story, and just make people listen and pay attention. And we've got to make a change on this. We just have to. Because I know, Valerie, you're with me. Like, you cannot live life without Pat. We're not willing to let him go anytime soon. So we need to make a change here.
And thank you, Susan, for what you're doing and bringing awareness to ALS to the masses. We appreciate you.
Oh, I appreciate you guys. You guys are the ones doing the hard work. So thank you for sharing your story, and same thing for Pat, for doing that research every day, for fighting this disease, for telling anyone that will listen to you what's happening. Like, you're the champions. It's people like you that make it easy to get to want to be involved and make a change. I mean that from the bottom of my heart.
Thank you.
I'm getting all sweaty. I'm getting all sweaty and emotional over here with all of this.
We've met so many wonderful people that are helping with ALS, and the people out there are incredible. Deb House.
Yeah, I was going to say her too. She's an incredible person, human being. She lost her husband, and she's helped us. She's helped, I don't know how many thousands of people. Deb House goes to Congress. She fights for us. So thank you to people like that every day they wake up, they have a goal, and it's to help us.
I love that. And just, I think I love your story so much too, because you just have this beautiful, there's just so much love. There's just so much genuine, true soulmate kind of love that you guys have for each other to get through whatever life is throwing at you right now. And just the fact that you keep, like Kendra was saying, you're just so selfless that you want to help the people around you. You want to help your friend now that is going through this. And you and I had this conversation on the phone about just the way you interact with someone with ALS. I want to talk about that for a second, because you made a really great point that I had never even really thought of. Now that you're in this situation, you've noticed sort of sometimes if you haven't been around ALS, maybe people don't know how to interact with an individual with ALS. So Pat, what do you say to those people that are maybe watching that haven't quite encountered this in their life yet? How do they interact with someone that has ALS?
We want to be seen. See us. If we're going through the grocery store on a little scooter or car, or anybody that's handicapped, usually, people will walk by looking straight ahead. Look down and smile, and at least see us, acknowledge us. I had a cousin that had ALS, and I saw her. This was many years ago, and I saw her in the latter stages. And she couldn't communicate. Her family had not set her up with any kind of communication means. So when she had lost her voice and her hands, and she couldn't communicate. So I went in there and into her house, and I saw her, and she was staring at me. Couldn't communicate with her, but I had a hard time looking at her, and I look back and I think, I wish I would have just looked at her and said, you know, I'm here with you. I see you. Acknowledge her, and then now having ALS, when you walk through the store and you go by, and when you're on that cart, you know, people want to not look at you, but I think we want to be seen. Almost like when you see, my mother lives downtown Chicago, and the homeless people, there's a couple that we know that we see all the time that they have mental issues. They'll be talking to themselves and like randomly screaming. So when we see those people, we'll look straight ahead and walk by because we're afraid to interact with them. We don't want to be treated like that. And I look at the homeless people differently now myself. So it's hard to walk by and not see another human being.
Yeah, this ALS stinks, but I think it's so beautiful what you've turned it into. Just in the course of our conversation, like you said, you guys have reevaluated life. You're focusing on what's important. You're making changes here. You're making the world a better place. Like you're taking this on, and you've taken such a nasty, horrible, 3-letter evil words like ALS, and you've turned it into something really beautiful. You really have. So on this note, is there anything you would like, anyone watching right now, is there anything you would like to throw out to them, to encourage them, to remind them, or to challenge them to do on the topic of all of these things we've been talking about?
In the chat. Excuse me. Are you asking us?
Oh, yes. Is there anything, anything, the people that are watching, is there anything that you guys would love to throw out to them, like challenge them or encourage them to do or remind them of? Any sort of words of wisdom you have for our viewers?
For people with ALS, I think for me, I never lose hope. I don't think it's hopeless. I think there's so many people behind the scenes working on this that I can't lose hope. I always have hope. Number one, I do. And I think that's important. Mm-hmm.
I want to say don't be afraid, but that's impossible because seems like every day when if you start losing, it gets harder to breathe, or you start losing your hands. We keep adapting to it, but as soon as we adapt to it, the disease takes us further down the road. So you're always fighting this element of fear, but you gotta focus on the good things, on what you've got, and what abilities we do have. Even though that number is going to get smaller and smaller and smaller, and it's going to boil down to the last one is going to be love. What do we love? Who loves us? But just focus on what we're blessed with and what we have to be grateful for, even though that list, it's going to keep getting smaller. But don't let fear bring you down anymore. The stress and fear makes this disease progress faster. It's the weirdest thing, but it's true. You just focus on what we have to be grateful for.
I love that. We can all use a little bit of that in our lives, not even for those of you battling ALS, but all of us. We can just focus on the things that we have great in our lives. I'm so glad that you two found each other. Absolutely. I don't know if you guys are seeing these comments.
My grandma
Seriously,
always
these
said,
comments?
Oh, no.
What was that, your grandma?
My grandma always said, none of us are getting out of this alive.
She did. They always say that.
ALS is, in a way, it is a blessing because if you drop dead of a heart attack, you can't say goodbye to anybody or tell anybody how you feel. At least this, the slow progression, or relatively slow, I guess, compared to sudden death, it gives us a chance to mend and communicate to people that we love them and that they've affected our lives, and it lets us focus on the truly important things in life. You know, where I guess if you pass away, you look back and say, I wish I would have focused on this more, you know. So it brings blessings into your life as much as it takes away. As long as you know, I think about what my grandma said, none of us are getting out of this alive. So, you know, make the absolute best of every day, even if you're not sick. You know, that country song, live like you're dying. We should all do that.
Absolutely. You're very wise over here, you two. You're just over here spouting all kinds of beautiful, beautiful knowledge that you're just dropping on all of us. But it's so true. We need these reminders. I mean, yeah, life is short no matter what. So we have to make the most of it.
Yeah.
And I was going to tell you before, I don't know if yeah, it's true. Pat has the best quotes. You really do. I'm going to be quoting you all the time. Pat says,
if I could have another 50 years with her, it still wouldn't be enough. So,
you guys.
I mean, if we have 3 or 5 years left, it'll never be enough.
See why he's my lobster? You see?
You guys are just the ultimate lobsters. I'm serious. You guys are so insanely beautiful. I am so happy that you found each other. And this, I know Kendra's going to second this. This is why we do what we do, because yeah, you guys are supposed to have another 50 years together.
1,000.
Yeah. Oh, I just can't stop over here. I don't know. Seriously, you guys are just so beautiful. Yeah. Well, I know this is not easy. And the fact that you guys are just that, Valerie, you are by his side every moment through all of this is so incredible to see. Yes, Kendra does second that. I know, Kendra, I can see you. I can see Kendra in the green room. Kendra's in the green room crying too. I mean, we're all a mess over here. Seriously though, it's because you guys, your love is just so beautiful. I'm telling you, I can feel it. I hope you guys that are watching this can feel this too. I can feel it through the phone. I can feel it right now. What you guys have found is so beautiful. And I will never understand sometimes the way life works out because it's not fair. But you are making the best of it. You're making the most of it. And I'm so glad, Patrick, that you get to spend the rest of your life married to Valerie.
Me too.
You guys are pretty stinking awesome. And I don't know if you're seeing these comments here, but people are falling in love with you and people have just been chiming in like crazy with so much love and so many hugs and everything for you guys.
Thank you.
So
And sweet hugs to everyone, and thanks for your support.
My gosh. Okay, so to maybe make us stop crying over here, these are like beautiful tears though, because we just love you so much. Seriously. We're gonna talk about some love. Let's bring this up here a little bit. We're gonna talk about some love because you guys are so generous to dive in and just completely trust me here and play a quick little game, a little who is game. This is gonna be kind of fun.
Game.
So, yay! And it just only felt appropriate to play a game since the game is what brought you two together.
No math, please.
No math. I'm with you on that. No math. This is a little game we like to call here at Sunflower Hour, Who Is. So you guys are going to play the Who Is game where I'll just ask you who is question, like who is the messiest, like silly things like that. And you guys will just say who is that person. We'll see what kind of fun stories come out of this. So we're going to get to know you two lovebirds, you two beautiful lobsters a little bit better. So here we go. I love this. You know what, everybody, I love this. This is going to be our new little, I love it. Everybody put your lobster claws together. for Patrick and Valerie Harmon, and let's play Who Is.
I say lobster because lobsters make for life. That's why.
I love
Lobsters
it.
made for life. That's why he's my lobster. Okay, game time.
Yeah, just when I start to stop again, you're gonna... Okay, game time. Who is the best cook?
Oh, that's a good question.
I was.
He was. Yeah, I'll give it to him.
My fingers don't listen to me anymore, so she has to be. She's learned a lot.
I've learned a lot, but he's the best cook.
I grew up, I was adopted,
He's the best cook.
and my mother was 100% Italian, and so I'm kind of,
Well trained.
yeah, she's a fantastic cook. I learned from the best.
I love it. I have my family's Sorrentioni, so I knew I loved you. That Italian, I love it. What's your favorite thing to cook? Or what was your favorite thing to cook?
I'm pretty simple. Yeah, steak. But for my mother, probably just the sauce, the gravy and like sausage and peppers or meatballs. The spaghetti. That's favorite is spaghetti. But, I do love cooking on the grill. I can cook anything on the grill.
I love it. Who is the funniest? Ooh.
He is. He comes up with some really, really funny things, and I don't know where he gets them, but he is. I'll say he is.
Okay, love it. Best sense of humor. Okay, well, I mean, Val, you picked a real good one here. You found the funny, the sweet, the giving, and the cook. I mean,
I'm pretty awesome too.
Smart
No,
woman.
really. No, he is. He's. When they say you meet somebody, but I met somebody that was 1,000 times better than I'd ever thought I'd meet a person. It's crazy how awesome this guy is. I never thought in a million years that I thought I met everybody in the world. This guy tops them all, I swear.
that's a beautiful thing too for everyone that is watching this.
Val's like, when I met Val, she was like the sweetest person in the world. I'm like, this has got to be a front. There's no way somebody could be this disgustingly sweet and kind, and I just hung around her more, and that's her. She's like that. I mean, I've known her over 10 years. I've never heard a negative word out of her mouth. I mean, she's just unbelievably kind and sweet, and I mean, she doesn't like watching anything negative on TV. We watch, if there's an animal or something that's going to get hurt, she'll get up and walk out. So I like to keep watching like G-rated stuff with her.
Perfect match. Absolutely perfect match. I love this. Who is the better DJ?
There are no better DJs. They are only different DJs. There's no one better than any other artist. DJs are the same. You're just different. Nobody's better. How's that?
Very diplomatic. I love that. Who has traveled to more countries?
Oh, that's Val.
Yeah.
She's done.
I kind of figured.
Yeah, she's done some international tours, so she's hit several countries at a time, more than once.
I love that. I know we have, guys, if you're watching, if you don't know this already, we have a super world famous DJ here. So you guys check her out, DJ Val, seriously.
On IbizaLiveRadio.com and Mix93FM.com, and I'm signed to MusicPlantRecords.com. Thank you.
I love it. I love it. Who is the most romantic?
Pat is. Because
you're super thoughtful.
Yeah, but you take me to see cows.
Yes.
He's romantic. He is. I love cows, so that's why I say that. He would, yeah, he is.
You know, every time I see a cow now, I'm not even kidding. Ever since we talked, Valerie, I
I
think
love
about
the
you, and now I have about 1,000 cow pictures in my camera roll because I keep taking them, meaning to send them to you
They're so cute.
because there are just cows everywhere. I know their
If
tongues
you-
just get me. I just love cows.
If you're in a car with Val and there's a cow somewhere, you're gonna know it.
Yes. Guilty as charged.
She yells
love
out,
it.
"Cows!" so loud.
It's one of the
This is your place.
22 things you love about
Yeah.
me.
So sometimes I'll take roads that go by more cows.
He does.
It's my job to make
Who-
sure that you can see cows.
Aw, I love this. Who is the best gamer? I guess Facebook gamer would be appropriate.
Gamer like video games?
I don't know. What?
He was fish tank in Farmville.
Val.
Yeah.
I say me too.
Actually, Val's mom.
Ooh.
Yeah, my mom did. She's around. But I'll claim to fame that. I'll claim that.
Okay, I love it. Who has the best memory?
Oh God, him for sure.
My memory is so good. I think it's cursed.
I don't even know what day it is. What day is
cursed.
it? I think it's Tuesday. I'm not sure. No, his memory is outrageous.
I love it. Oh, we just have a request for a seasoned sunflower hour ALS cookbook with Patrick can add some of those amazing recipes. I love it. You have fans now, Patrick. People want to know your recipes.
I'll get it right from my mother. She's 91 and she can run circles around my kids even. She's a little 4'11" Italian lady, but she can cook like crazy.
Yeah, she's awesome.
I love it. So what I'm hearing is I need to invite myself over to your house for dinner.
Why not?
So
Come over.
No, I'm trying to convince you guys to come over here so that you can just see cows every day.
Well, it's
Cows
Tuesday.
and
We'll be
chickens.
there by Friday, so make a
Deal.
best of us. Okay.
Deal. I've got a room for you. You can crash on my spare bed. Absolutely.
All right.
Who made the first move? Dun, dun, dun.
I love unicorns? No, that was after.
She used to say that.
Well, I was scared to say I love you, so I said, because I love unicorns, so I said, I love you, Nicole. See? It's true. I loved him, but I love unicorns too, so it was like if he didn't feel the same way, he could have backed out, see? But I love you, unicorns, but I love you, you know, I love you. And I love unicorns, but I love you more. I think it was the very first move. I think it was like exactly the same.
Simultaneous.
Yeah,
You know,
we were both.
in front of my hands.
Yeah.
Yes.
The moment that hand touched, you reached out for that hand and it was
Yeah. In the DJ booth, you got it.
Yeah, I was walking out to the dance floor with some of we call them the Goonies
The Goonies from
the roll
Nicole.
call. I was walking out to the dance floor and I stuck my hand in the booth and she reached out and I grabbed her hand.
You didn't let go for a while. It was mutual.
I love it. Well, on that note, we'll leave this with one final question. What do you love most about each other?
I love his thoughtfulness. He always knows what he reads my mind. It's crazy. He reads my mind constantly. It's crazy. He does. I love that. He's so thoughtful that he can read my mind. He does. I'm not kidding. He's very thoughtful. That's why.
I like that Val doesn't have a mean bone in her body. I mean, she's so incredibly kind and thoughtful to everybody and every creature. And it's crazy. And she's shown me love at a whole different level. I mean, there's not a minute goes by that I don't know that she really, really loves me a lot. And I feel it all the time. She doesn't even have to say anything. Just every bone in her body, I know she loves me and she's there for me. no matter what.
This is true. I swear to God.
It's weird. It's like the more we do for each other, you get it back. I mean, you when you love, you always get more back than what you put into it. I think we both just feed each other off each other that way, and it's kind of like a crazy relationship. We love each other so much. It's like out of control. Love is amazing.
This has absolutely never happened to me in my life, but you two truly do just absolutely leave me speechless. So there is absolutely nothing else that needs to be said about that. You guys are just the most beautiful couple.
Thank you, Susan.
Absolutely. And Patrick, you are the man when it comes to the most perfect quotes. So
Yes.
I mean, how can
I hope
with ALS? How can I mean, how can I even feel bad about leaving this earth? It's like I know what this is. This kind of relationship. I've got everything. There's nothing left to want.
That's why he's my lobster. See?
So if he wants to take me tomorrow, I'll go. Happy.
no, we're not letting it happen.
A few more years.
Yeah, we're not letting it happen. Mm-mm. No way. This is, like I said, this is what we're fighting for this love, and for more people to get to, for everyone that has ALS right now, to get to find their lobster and to get to share their love. So we're not going to stop fighting until we can keep all the lobsters together.
Thank you.
You're not allowed to go anywhere.
Yeah, see? You stay right
I
here.
got a lot of stuff to do yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You still have a lot left to accomplish.
Got a lot of cows to see?
Oh my gosh, you too. I am so happy to have met you, and I'm really happy now that you're part of our Sunflower Hour family, because spoiler alert, you are. So now you'll be hearing from me. You're part of the family, and you're in this super awesome group that has just absolutely changed my life. So thank you guys for being a part of this, for taking some time. I know I kept you a really long time tonight, so thank you guys for sticking with us and getting to just share your two awesomeness with everybody. I love this.
If you're in our family, you come and eat at my mom's, you better bring stretchy pants.
Yes. Thank you for having us, and enjoy that big full moon tomorrow night in the paradise that you are. And thanks again for everybody chiming in, and we appreciate you. Thank you.
I hope I'll see you guys very soon. I'm going to convince you one way or another to come out here, to come to Bali to experience this. And my stretchy pants, Patrick, they are ready. I will be ready
Awesome.
for some yummy food. I never turn down Italian food. So I will be seeing you guys very soon. Thank you for everything. And just, I'm so happy to know you guys as a couple. You guys are so beautiful.
Thank you so
for
much.
everything. Bye. Well, that was a roller coaster of all kinds of emotions, but my gosh, to watch that, to witness that, I hope that it was as powerful for you guys as I know it was for me, because this is a beautiful reminder to everybody out there, the impact and the power of love, and that no matter what's going on in your life, the most important thing, like Patrick said, all there is love. So let's keep spreading that love. We're going to continue this fight. If you are watching this and you feel so inclined, please feel free to donate to our Tiltify campaign, because every donation, there's no donation that is too small, and all of it goes to helping find a cure and helping the Cathys in the world, helping the Patricks in the world, helping get us one step closer to ending this disease and giving all of those soulmates out there more time and more memories together. Thank you guys so much for watching this. I love all of you, and happy Valentine's Day, and let's spread some love to everybody. I hope everybody out there finds their lobster. Thank you guys so much. We'll see you on the next episode of Season Sunflower Hour. And until then, be bright and shine your light.